Hi, seniors. It's day 3. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're enjoying the craziness and getting your work done. Hope you're not too sad right now about missing out on some of the stuff for senior year. I miss you guys, which is weird to say, but I do. I miss arguing with Elijah and telling him to shave, and just kind of interacting with you guys. So I'm sitting in one of my favorite places in my basement. See all my regatta stuff. My cat, one of my cats. She's the princess of the family. So here's the queen, here's the princess. I just watched a video from Father Mike, and maybe you guys picked it to do for your topic paper, but it's about the COVID virus, COVID-19. And he made a few really good points that I think it's important to kind of impart to you all what to do during this time. And he says it's really easy to be critics of the government and how they're shutting things down and it's hurting small businesses. A little more local to us, bishops closing parishes and not having masses. And so he said the first thing, which I love because I still do it every day, wake up and I decide what I'm grateful for each day because I've been working my tail off. This is really hard getting this stuff prepared for you guys. But he says be grateful. Be grateful we are not the people who have to make life-changing, life-altering decisions that can affect people's lives in such a profound way. He said be grateful that we are not in that position. The second thing was to do what we can, meaning to reach out to one another. If we know someone in our neighborhood who's old and can't come out or quarantined, stick a note in their mailbox. Reach out to your grandparents or to people who can't leave their house for their own health and safety. Reach out to one another. Hopefully you guys are going to town in your class group text. Be kind to one another. Understand that some people are very anxious about this. Understand that some people just don't really care. We all have our own ways of dealing with change. He, said to look at how we influence the world around us in this time of change. And the last thing was to pray. Duh, I'm making you guys at least look up scripture every single day. We need to connect with God, stay connected with God during this. For Catholics in particular, since we can't go to Mass, we can't receive the Eucharist, which is central to who we are as Catholics, he said, there are various things that you can do. We're never fully separated from it because we're never fully separated from Jesus. He said if the churches aren't closed, I'm pretty sure ours are, but if they're not, he says, go and sit in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Do your own adoration. If that doesn't work, he said, go sit in the parking lot. He said the church is one great big giant tabernacle, which I had never considered that. If you're really feeling like the world needs some prayers, he said, pray the Liturgy of the Hours. You can find that online. That's what priests have to do every single day. And we need to pray for our leaders. We need to pray for those people who are making life-changing decisions. So there's that. I'm making you guys your own personal video because this class is such a discussion-driven class. This is really, really hard to do. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this. I had to scan your entire book, and it takes me like 45 minutes once it's scanned, PDF to Google Docs to fix all this stuff. So in the reading assignments, if things seem weird or I've found duplicates of paragraphs, just roll with it. Some of you probably aren't going to like how this guy writes, and that's okay. We don't always like the same things and how people write, but the message is the same, and it is about the Catholic Church and what it believes as far as sex goes and our sexuality. So far we've had a couple of assignments, and now we're getting ready to get into the parts where normally what happens is in class I'd post some questions. I would have you read a section and then assign you questions or assign a section and ask you to respond to that, which you've already had one of those. And what I mean by respond is what did you think about what you just read? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Was there something in there that you just really scratched your head over and was like, what are they talking about? Do you have questions about it? And that's what that response paper is. And that's what each of these will be from here on out, because I can't figure out a better way to do it. And over break, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to read through and I'm going to pull questions out. I'm not going to tell anybody who wrote it or who's questioning it or who's challenging, because challenge it, come on. And I'll like video chat this and see if it helps. And if it still doesn't help, you can always send me a question. Hey, can you explain this a little more? We can't actually sit and argue about it. I don't know. I guess there are group chat things that the teachers are now looking at using. So be careful. So what you're getting ready to do in your assignment today is we looked at, what original sin did to sex for us. Thanks, Adam and Eve. Normal. But if you understand it in the terms that they didn't feel like God was fully loving them, and that was hard for them to take. And then they saw objectivity. All of a sudden, Eve was an object for Adam's lust, and vice versa. And that's why they covered themselves. That's why they were ashamed, because of that lust. So today, to start your questions or your thought processes, instead of having you answer them, I just want you to think about these questions as you go into your assignment. So, if Adam and Eve set us in motion to turn away from God, it would make sense to turn back to Him to fix it. And so in turning back to Him, we have to pay attention to what He asks of us and what we're taught through our church. You got to ask yourselves these questions. The first question is, do I believe in God's gift of Himself to us? Second question, do I believe in His infinite love for me, that He loved me so much He called me into creation, not to walk away from Him, but to take part in His life, and taking part in His life, making our life more beautiful. So in order to, if we are going to turn back to God, if we are going to try and be better people, we have to do these certain things. And I'm looking over here at my computer screen because I have them as notes. And the first thing you're going to do with your assignment when you watch this video, so you're going to need a pen and some paper, or however you want to jot these things down, because I want to know that you watch this video. And he says we have to do the following things. And these are the things you need to write down, because you're going to put them in a document as part of your homework. First thing, we have to be willing to be honest with ourselves and others. So you got to take a real hard look at yourself and decide what's good and what's not so good. Second thing, be committed to living the best life we can every single day. We got to be holy, guys. Being holy means to keep striving to be who He created us to be. Third thing, we have to have faith. We have to have faith that He loves us. We have to have faith that we're doing the best that we can. And if we don't, that we can keep trying, because He's right there next to us the entire way. Fourth, we have to be willing to sacrifice. We have to be willing to do for others what we wish they'd do for us. We have to be willing to be better people than what we've been in the past. We have to be willing to give up those things that the world tells us that we need to be happy. We just have to be willing to give of ourselves. That's sacrifice. Fifth thing, we have to be willing to deny ourselves the things that lead us to sin. And that varies from person to person, what that might be. Whatever it is, whatever your biggest sin is that you struggle with, there are things that lead you to that. And you have to learn to deny yourself those things. So those are the 5 things. And love is all of what we just described, because that's what Christ wants us to be and to do. So, moving forward, in order to get back to the basic marital questions, what did God intend for marriage to be before there was sin? Those are what we have to look at, and that's what you're going to be looking at in this assignment, was what he intended and what the church teaches and why they have the authority to teach that. So I want you to think about another question. I'm going to scroll down here for a second. Think about this. Who likes to be told what to do? Sometimes. I'm sure you guys are thinking sometimes. We like to be told what to do in a job. Or if we're unsure of what we're supposed to be doing, that way we do it right or do it the best way we can. Other times we don't like to be told what to do when it goes against what we want to do. When someone says you can't do this because it's wrong, and we're like, well, no, I don't think it's wrong. Or I'm going to do this because I want to do it. I don't care what you say. Well, that's sinful. It's prideful. One of those 7 deadly sins. Don't forget, while you're off, watch the movie 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Oh my gosh. But it is kind of awful. It's kind of, but it's so good. So, that's kind of enough out of me. And the part about not being told what to do leads into this next section in your book that will be posted in your Google Classroom that talks about, the church kind of telling us what we need to do in order to have the best life possible, most particularly in marriage and our sexuality and how we deal with our sexuality and the best way about it, because we've always been told it's wrong and it's dirty and ugh. It's only that way if you don't apply it like God intended for us to apply it. So anyway, we're going to get through this together. We're going to figure out the best way to get through this class. I'll keep doing things like this. You guys send me little video questions, but I need your questions. I need to know what you think, what you're confused about, what you vehemently disagree with, or you wholeheartedly support, and why. That's what these responses are. With that said, with my pretty little Olive back here, we're going to say peace out for the night and be better.